Time for an update on the XTRX development. So while the boards are still in manufacturing, we are using this setup to develop software and firmware meantime, and that's Xilinx RTX development board and Lime Microsystems LMS 7000 or 2 development board, which are two most important chips on the XTRX board. And it's hard to imagine that this huge and clumsy setup will turn into something as small as this. But let's get back to our progress. So we've just got SPI working, which is the first step to breathe life into our electronic friend. And that's what we want to share with you. SPI is a low bandwidth serial bus, which is commonly used to control various chipsets, and LMS 7000 is not an exception. Using SPI, you can read and write control registers and essentially configure the chip. So the very basic test we can do is to read a register whose contents we know, and that would be register 2F, which contains hardware revision of the Lime chip, and we should get digits 3 and 8 back in hex. So let's run the test program and let's look into the SPI transaction here on the oscilloscope. So we see clock in blue, and in green we see the register read command we are sending, and it shows 2 and F, and then out of reserved bit set to 1. And in yellow we can see the value of the register which we are getting back from the Lime chip, and it gives us 0011100000, which is exactly 3 and 8 in hex. And on the screen we can see that we are also getting digits 3 and 8 back, which means that our SPI is working all the way from the Lime chip to the FPGA, to PCI Express, to our Linux kernel driver, to our user space program. Now let's do something more exciting. We will use Lime Suite to tune transmit side of our chip to frequency 801, which is the frequency our spectrum analyzer is tuned to. So we'll be observing what's going on right here. So let's press the button and upload the configuration, and we can see this DC spike, which is exactly what we expect when we are not transmitting any meaningful signal. Now let's start transmitting a test signal from the numerical control oscillator built into the Lime chip, and here we go. We can see this perfectly fine sine signal here. Now that's not much, but even with this you should be able to beep like the first Sputnik or send Morse code. Obviously the next step for us will be to get normal IQ samples flowing in and out the system to transmit something more useful. Thank you and stay tuned.